powerful storm batters parts of BC. Extreme wind, a high tide, and crashing waves forcing the closure of Ogden Point in Victoria and the White Rock Pier. A storm surge flooded streets in Oak Bay. Tons of thousands without power as winds toppled trees onto power lines and homes, forcing school closures. The dangerous conditions also canceling a number of ferry sailings between the island and the mainland. Good evening and thanks for joining us. Those are just some of the images from the wild and intense winter storm that took direct aim at the south coast. Gale-force winds and an extreme high tide made for a chaotic start to the day. Some saying they have never seen anything like it. CTV's Rob Buffum begins our storm coverage tonight.
Mother Nature's power was on full display in Greater Victoria. Fierce winds blasting the shoreline, huge waves crashing onto Dallas Road.
That's pretty awesome. It's lighthouse-worthy weather, I would say. I used to work as a lighthouse keeper, and it's on par for sure.
The spectacle of sheer force drew a crowd of curious onlookers and exhilarated storm watchers.
Fantastic! Reminder how Mother Nature is so powerful. There's not much that we can do except to let it run its course.
Winds gusting up to 90 kilometers flung wood and debris onto the sidewalk and the road and shut down Dallas Road this afternoon.
The conditions leaving a trail of debris and depositing a pond where there had been a roadway.
This is one of the craziest I've seen it. It doesn't it gets up over the water, over the roadway, but doesn't hit the road. The houses on the other side of the road very often.
The Harbour Authority shut down the nearby Ogden Point breakwater, deeming it too dangerous. Big surf pummeling the popular pathway.
The wind blowing over is very unstable and very unsafe.
The remarkable conditions and massive waves caused by a rare combination: low pressure, high winds, and amongst the highest tides of the year, called a spring or king tide.
It's all about the perfect storm when it comes to the pressure, the wind, and of course the timing of the tide.
Those high tides and waves rocking houseboats down at Fisherman's Wharf.
Every now and then things get so severe that you got to make sure everything's tied down.
And wreaking havoc in Oak Bay, where Beach Drive along McNeil Bay was also closed.
Honestly, in 40 years in Victoria, I've never seen anything like it.
Despite the sheer force of the storm, no major damage has been reported, despite localized flooding. Tomorrow's tides expected to be even higher, but the winds predicted to relent after a day many won't soon forget. Robert Buffum, CTV News, Victoria.